What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. The reason you clicked on this video is to see a Blender tutorial, so we're just going to get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously open up Blender. And once you have Blender opened, just go ahead and click on General. And then you'll see your 3D space. You'll see your default cube, which you can change in the preferences. If you want to, when you log in, you can have like a monkey head in there for the beginning or nothing at all. It's up to you. That's why they're called preferences. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and click delete on that cube, and you can click add up here and then click mesh, or you can remember the hotkey, which is Shift A, and then you have this menu right here. So what you're going to want to do is click plane right here, and then you're just going to click S, which is going to activate scale. So you can scale it just like this by moving your slider and scaling it, or you can just type in a number and it'll scale it up. So type in 100 and that's good. So you're going to click Shift A again and go to mesh, and then we'll do what should we do? We'll do monkey. Yeah, we'll do monkey. Alright, you're going to click G and then Z, and then bring your mouse up, and this will grab. G means grab, and then Z, which means on the Z axis. So we basically grabbed it and moved it only on the Z axis, and if you don't press Z, you can move it anyway, and then Z will just lock it in the Z axis. But yeah, okay, now that you've added in your monkey to your scene, go ahead and make sure your monkey is selected, which you can tell by the orange highlights around it. So yeah, make sure your monkey is selected and go ahead and click F2, and this will bring up a little bar tab, I don't know, but whatever it is, that's how you rename things. Or you can also just go over here, which shows all your objects, and then you can just, I think it's double click, yeah, just double click, but it's quicker. Just tap F2 and then name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it monkey because that's what it is. Alright, now that we have added in our monkey into our scene and we've renamed it, go over to this modifier tab, which has the wrench on it, which is like the little icon. But you have to, once again, make sure your monkey is selected. And with your monkey selected, go over to this modifier tab and click add modifier. And then on the generate column, we'll go all the way down to the bottom, which is subdivision surface. Now if you have a slower computer, you can just go ahead and change this to 0. Change this to 0. So this will make it look bad, but when you actually render it, which means finish it, it'll actually look good. So that way you can move around and do things fast, and then at the end it'll still look good. But what I like to do is I'll just do what I think looks good, which I think 3 looks good. So we'll change the render view to 3, so that's what it'll look like when it's done. And I'll change this to 0. So when it's done, it'll look nice and good, but for now it's just whatever. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the water effect to it. Okay, once again with your monkey selected, I'll go ahead and click F3. This will bring up this little search bar tab. And just go ahead and search it in quick. You'll see all the quick effects. There's cell fracture, quick explode, quick fur, quick liquid, and quick smoke. And we're doing quick liquid in this video. Alright, so as you can see, with the quick liquid, which basically just does everything for you, they give you a liquid domain, and then they make your monkey the something. It just makes the water come out of it. So if you go ahead and click the space bar, you can see that the particles go down, and they look pretty freaking cool. And you can mess with the settings inside of the properties tabs. So you can see they added the fluid to it. They basically did all the settings for you, all like the basic ones, and then you can change everything on your own. But yeah, that's maybe a separate video, but for now we're just gonna leave it how it is. Okay, now that we have our water simulation inside of Blender, we can just go ahead and go up here and change it. I think it's, wait, give me a second. Yeah, it's this one right here. You can click this and you can see what it'll look like. Or a quicker way is you just click Z, Z, and you can see it rendered, and then solid is what's like default, just like solid. And then there's material preview, so if you have materials, you can see what everything's gonna look like. And then, okay, so we'll change it to wireframe for now. But the first thing you're gonna wanna do is come up to this little camera icon, and it's called render properties. I didn't even know that. But anyway, you're gonna click that and change it from Eevee to cycles. This will make it look way better. So if we click rendered, we see our monkey inside of a water domain. Okay, the next thing you're gonna want to do is make sure liquid domain is selected, and you're gonna go down to physics properties right here, and you're gonna scroll all the way down to right here where it says type replay. We're gonna change that to all, and then once you've done that, you're gonna see this little mesh, and you select that box, and then you're gonna click bake all, and this will basically just bake it. Yeah. Okay, now that it is baked, you can see it's already looking better. And if you click play, since we're using cycles, it's a live render thing, so you see all these pixels, but it'll be fine at the end. And you can see it gave our water a perfect texture. I always have a problem with that, so usually I just put in quick liquid and then just change everything. But yeah, that's what our render is looking like so far, which looks awesome. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click Z, and I'm just gonna change it. We'll change it to wireframe. No, never mind. We're gonna change it to solid, and then I'm not gonna select anything. And we'll go just find any like edge where it makes your arrow pop up. So you can see arrows. I think one over here too. Yeah, that thing will work. Anyways, wherever you see an arrow, whenever there's an arrow, just right click, and you'll see this pop up. There's vertical split and horizontal split. We're gonna click vertical split. It's just preferences again. You do whatever you want. And then just do about half, actually just whatever you feel like. And then up here, we're going to go to the top right here and click shader editor. And then you can see this, which might look a little confusing, but it's not too bad. Alright, and then you'll see this. And then select your monkey, and you should see, yep, absolutely nothing. And it's hard to see it, but it says new right here. If you just click right here, add a new material, perfect. Alright, now if we click Z right here, click material preview. It's kind of a mix between solid, rendered. Yeah, mix between solid and rendered. Alright, so you can see what our water looks like. It's basically all the materials mixed with like the solid render view. Okay, so once again with the monkey selected, we're going to click this green box right here. And you can see just the white outline. And you're going to do Control Shift T. And it'll bring up this tab. And then you can see I have a material downloaded for it, which I will link in the description below. Or you can just go to the website that material is on and just find whatever material you want. But we are going to be using a wood material. And then once you download it, you'll see a zipped up folder. Just right click it, click extract all, and then you'll see another folder. And then when you're in Blender, just select all the things that are in that folder and click Principled Texture Setup. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is going to set up an HDRI, which is basically just getting lighting from a real world scenario and putting it into our scene. So you can leave this tab open, but I'm going to close it, and you do the same thing. You right click and you're going to click Join Areas, and then whatever area you want to be swapped out. So we'll go like that, and then we have the full screen again. Perfect. Okay. Just go over here, make sure nothing's selected, and go to World Properties, and you'll see this color tab. Just click on this yellow right here, and you're going to click Environment Texture. Alright, then you can click Open. This is really simple. And then Downloads, and then wherever you downloaded it, I downloaded HDRI, and then I'll use this one. Boom. We switch it to Rendered. You can see our HDRI, which looks awesome. Yep, and that's the HDRI that I'll link in the description below. I also have another one downloaded, which I will also link below. But yeah, this is what this one looks like. And then since we have this whole lighting, we can just go ahead and delete this light, the default light, because we already have all this light. Okay, the next thing is if you don't want all of this showing in your render, but you actually want that lighting, you can go over here to Film. It's like this, but open up Film, and then click on Transparent. So you can see you get all that lighting, but not that background, which works for any scenario, whatever you want. I think I'm gonna do, yeah, I'll do transparent. Alright, so the next thing is we're gonna set up our camera view, so whatever the final render sees. So basically, whatever you see through this camera, which you can go right here by clicking this, and then you can see the camera view. If we were to render it, it's just gonna see that, and we don't want it to do that. We want it to see the whole thing. And hotkey for going to camera view is 0 on the number pad, and boom. Or you can just click it right there. Okay, so just go ahead, line it up. Just look how you want the camera to look, and you're gonna hold Control Alt 0, and this will move the camera to where you want it to go. And if we go right here on this tiny little arrow and click that, and go down to View and click Camera to View, now wherever we move, the camera will lock onto it. So we're moving the camera right now by just moving. So you can go ahead and just frame it up. And another secret, which I like to do a lot, is if we can change this to solid, so it's just looks nice and simple. Go ahead and just make another vertical split. Go right there. We'll keep them both in object mode, but we'll have one of them not in camera view. And then with your camera selected, just click this right here, and then you can move it on the axes. And you can also, here, let me turn off the camera view lock thingy. Turn that off real quick. Okay. Alright. So, okay, now we can just line it up and move it like this. And then we can also see what we want it to look like. Perfect. I think that's pretty good. Just perfect. Okay, so you can see our thingy-majiggy goes just like that, and is looking amazing. Okay, next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is we are just gonna select this, the plane right here, which you can rename floor, but whatever. And then instead of doing the vertical split and having that shading, you can just make the whole thing a shading tab, which has its pros and cons. But so with your plane selected, click New, and we're gonna do the same thing, Control Shift T, and then I will leave the material for this in the description as well. Okay, so now that we have our material for our floor, we're just gonna go to Layout and Material Preview, and yep, there we go. We have everything looking pretty dang good. So now we're ready to render, but we need to set up our render settings. Okay, so you can leave the render, I think it's called samples. Yeah, you can make the samples 128, just leave them how it is, or you can ramp them up. It's basically the quality. We'll just do 256, and then so if I up this to 256, when we're in the viewport, it will look better. But 256 for the render, and then next thing you're gonna go to this. I don't even know what it's called. Output properties, and you can change that if you want, but I'm not going to for this. And we're going to change the cache, or wherever it gets saved to. Well, I'm just going to save it to render test, but we're going to save it right in there. Boop. Boom. Okay, now we're going to change it from PNG to JPEG. You can also change it to FFmpeg, but for this one we'll just change it to JPEG, and we'll change the quality to 100% because we are 100% awesome. And then you can go up here, click render and render animation, or Control F12. And also, if you want the render to be shorter, which I'll show you right now, if you just click X right here, you can change the frame end to something shorter. So what I usually like to do, we'll change it to wireframe. So you can click play. You can see, okay, the water does that, and basically wherever you think is a good spot to end, you can watch the water swivel around for a little bit. And we'll stop it at like 150. And then how you do that is you just come to this end and type in 150. But then, yeah, that is it. Okay, that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button and comment down below if you have any ideas for another tutorial on Blender. I already have one in mind. I'll show it right now. It's basically just a new intro I just created. And if you guys want a tutorial for it, also comment down below if you want to. And if you haven't done so, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.